All right, in this video we're going to look at evaluating logarithms now, with and without a calculator. So first off, if I'm told to evaluate the logarithm, it means give me the value of this particular expression. As in, what is the log base 3 of 81? Well, really what that's asking is, this is asking 3 to what power equals 81. That's what we're trying to figure out. Now, to do this without a calculator, you could use that pink sheet of powers, and you could look and say, okay, well, 3 raised to what power? All right, I got x, and I've got x squared, and I've got x cubed, and x to the fourth, and I could look until I find 81 in that particular row. 81, that was 3 to the fourth power, so that means that x must be 4. That's what the log base 3 of 81 is equal to. Okay, that's one way to do it. Some of them you can maybe just think through and know if you know your powers really well. But for the majority of people, you're probably going to use the calculator, so I'll just show you how to use that. Now, if you have a newer calculator with a new operating system, you probably are able to type in a logarithm and it'll look just like it does on paper on the screen. It's pretty cool. To access that, it's called log base. One way to get there is by hitting the alpha key and then F2, which will bring up this function menu. On this function menu, the fifth option is log base. Choose that. I'll hit 5 to choose that. What happens then is I get this log and then 2 boxes. The small box is for the base, the big box is for whatever number it is of which I'm finding a logarithm. So if I want to find the log base 3 of 81, I put a 3 in that box, and I put 81 in that box, and then I hit enter, and it evaluates it and tells me that the logarithm is equal to 4, because 3 to the fourth is 81. No problems. Okay? Now, for those of you who have a little bit older calculators and you can't get to this log base thing, don't worry, there's still hope. What you would use is something called the change of base formula. The change of base formula is like this. If I want to evaluate the log base 3 of 81, to type that into my calculator, I would type in log of 81, log using the log key, the base 10 logarithm on your calculator, divided by the log of 3. Okay. So log of the big number, when I say big number, I mean big in font size. This is bigger than the little subscript is. Log of the big number divided by the log of the little number is in the base. So watch what happens if I type it in now. If I type in log 81, close the parentheses, and then divide that by the log of 3, close those parentheses, hit enter, and we get 4. So even if you have an older calculator, a TI-83 or an older TI-84, you can still evaluate logarithms on your calculator using the change of base formula. Pretty neat little deal. So let's keep that in mind. Let's do a couple more. The log base 5 of 625. Okay. So log base 5 of 625. Hit enter equals 4 because 5 to the fourth power is 625. So you kind of get how that works. So I get 4 for this one. 1/2 equaling 8. 1/2 to the x power equals 8. That's kind of a goofy one. That one's going to end up being -3 because I need 1/2 is going to be raised to the -3rd power. Can I do it that way? I get 1 to the -3rd and 2 to the -3rd. Switch to make them positive. 2 cubed over 1 cubed. 2 cubed equals 8. So that's why that one works out the way that it does. So that answer is -3. And then log base 9 of 3, that one's going to end up being 1/2 because 9 to the 1/2 is equal to 3. 9 to the 1/2, that's like taking the square root of 9. So hopefully that makes sense when you type it into your calculator. This one is equal to 1/2. Now other ones that are told to, you'll specifically be told, hey, evaluate some logarithms with the calculator. If you see log 5, log 7, ln 0.25, ln 150, you don't have to do anything special because those are the common logarithms or the natural logarithms. And those are just the keys on your calculator. If I see log 5, that's pretty simple to type in. I just hit log, this log key, log 5, close the parentheses, hit enter. There it is. And I would write down the decimal maybe to 3 decimal places. So that'd be 0.699 for that one. So I write down 0.699. There's my logarithm. If I did ln, a natural logarithm one, I type that in. Let's do the ln of 150. So ln 150, close it, hit enter. I get 5.011. Okay. So you get the idea with evaluating logarithms with or without the calculator.